Hello friends, family and other creatures of the sea, and welcome back. Today we have a professional best of 3 of StarCraft 2 from the most recent GSL group. Now if you haven't watched it yet and you don't want to be spoiled, this video ain't for you. If however you don't give a crap, this video will be perfect for you. In the top right, spawning as our blue Terran, the second place finisher at the DreamHack Masters Jönköping this year, only losing to herO. It is of course Gumiho. And in the bottom left, spawning as our red Protoss player, playing for team DKZ. It is herO. One of the best Protoss versus Terran players in the world. I think, when I look at herO, I think he's definitely the best in Protoss versus Zerg. When it comes to the PvT and the PvP matchup, I am not sure if he is actually better than MaxSpecs right at this moment. According to Aligalug, he is, but when I watch both of them play, it feels like MaxSpecs really understands what needs to be done in this particular matchup in order to win, and I rate him very, very highly. Now, of course, I also rate herO very highly, but it often feels like he thrives a bit more when games get chaotic. And of course, with a new map, on a new patch, games can get very chaotic. So we're going to see how he is going to maneuver around all of this. This is the first major or premier event even that is being played here on the new patch, on the new maps. So I'm expecting some fireworks, especially out of Gumiho, who is known to, to deliver those fireworks. I think this was a gas first opener, Marine into Factory, into a late Reaper, an odd build order. This particular version of a gas first Factory before CC, I have never seen before. I believe this is going to transition into a Cyclone. Just looking at how the minerals are working out at the moment, this build seems like it has some serious potential. Holy crap, this looks cool. Marine scouts the Zealot that is halfway across the map, as herO did decide to build that. At the same time, herO, has mined out the... So there is a mineral wall over here on this map called Alcyone. And you can mine these to kind of access the right side of the map. herO has done that. Could be looking at a proxy, could also just be looking for scouting information, wanting to know, hey, what is kicking off over here? As this Zealot has managed to get across the map right now. I'm surprised that it was allowed to do this, because this got scouted. Oh my god, I love how Gumiho played this. He said, hey, you can move across the map. I'm gonna have a Cyclone. I want to move my Reaper across the map to deny mining in your natural and maybe get a scout in myself. Poor control here though, out of the Terran player. Doesn't get anything done and loses the Reaper. At the same time, resources lost. We see that the Zealot has gone down. I think the Marine is still alive. Yes, it is. So this Cyclone coming out very quickly and actually dealing some serious damage against that Zealot. I feel like there was a follow-up unit. Okay, the Adept hadn't taken any real damage. I believe there was also an Adept across the map. Second Cyclone now out. Third Cyclone on the way, as well as a starport. So this seems to me like we're kind of moving into a triple Cyclone push, maybe with a couple of Marines. Perhaps you want to wait for a medevac here, but that seems like a long time from now. Seems like a long ways away. Is this... Yeah, maybe a fourth Cyclone even is going to be a viable thing here. Oh, wow. Straight into a tech lab on that starport. Worker count very close. This should not be capable of dealing any damage. I'm surprised that herO even goes in with this. He's almost losing an Adept here. Doesn't quite. Did he kill a worker? I think he might have killed a worker. So in that case, it definitely was kind of worth it. No third base on the way yet. This is going into Twilight Council, 3 gate. So Blink follow-up here for herO. Gumiho transitioning into a Raven, just a single Raven. We don't see the interference matrix upgrade. Of course, it used to be included in the Raven, now needs to be researched on the tech lab and takes, I believe, 43 seconds. So quite a long time. It was 50-50. Second barracks almost done, as this first game here is very different from anything that I've seen before, especially from the Terran side. Wow. Okay. Also very different from what I've seen out of the Protoss side. It is extremely uncommon to open up with double oracles and go into charge rather than blink. Now the reason for this is that Protoss always needs a unit to deal with medevacs. Medevacs are the main threat that Terran has. If you don't have Blink or Phoenixes, it's going to be difficult to deal with those if drops start going on. And herO says, hey, I'm gonna open double Oracle, straight into charge slot, get that Templar Archives, and With this timing on the Templar Archives, I believe it's going to be for Storm rather than just for Archons. I'd be surprised if this is an instant Archon morph here out of these 2 Templar that he just warped in. I'd be very surprised, because the timing here on this Templar Archives was so ridiculously early. Luckily for herO, there is no mine style that is being played. This would be weaker against mines, because mines are very good in medevacs and also are much more mobile than tanks are. Tanks really require a straight up push. And it doesn't seem like herO is going to struggle with a straight up push, because he's just going to have probably 2 storms available per Templar here. He's getting a high gateway count as well. I think moving up to 8 right now. He has 5 done, 3 more on the way. This is all looking phenomenal. This Raven at 115 energy, just going to be chilling in the dead space for now. Robotics facility gets constructed in the net. And we're just waiting for this move out of Gumiho. Oh, it's an important scout. Gumiho sneaking in a Marine there. Not only sees that there's a Templar, but also saw the animation. Even through the fog of war, you can still see it. Storm was being researched here. As the auto turrets get plopped down over here, Raven, of course, won't be so useful the moment feedback is out. So Gumiho immediately said, hey, I'm gonna send that in ASAP. See if I can deal some damage. herO is setting up run-bys. There's a probe over here. 3 adepts. I thought it was Zealots, but it's adepts. Okay, adepts being sent across the map. Could shade in the moment this move out occurs. There is a stasis ward in the middle of the map. It's gonna get triggered here instantly. 3 Marines as well as a Marauder get stuck in there. The double Oracle now moves in. There's no turret here. That means that could be dangerous for Gumiho. He's trying to get a mine to burrow. Not quite in time. He's forced back to deal with 2 Oracles. Significant delay here on his push out. And herO's early game already was quite good, but it's just getting better and better and better. He's delaying this push out by so much. And at this point, I'd almost say, hey, Gumiho, why don't we just stay at home? We think maybe we push next game. Okay, we just relax a little bit right now. Yes, I know that your 3rd base is very late and it's not being built on location, but it seems fairly useless to push out at this point. And given the units that herO has, good feedback, and the lack of upgrades so far, I actually think that herO might be the first one to kind of send it here. Saying, hey, I have Storm. Templar becomes significantly worse. Gateway units become significantly worse in general. The moment that Ghosts are out, maybe you want to hit a pre-Ghost timing while simultaneously transitioning into Colossus. That is, of course, a viable thing you can do. Ooh, loving these armory mine drops. You see Gumiho rushed out that armory just for this particular little tactic here. Wanting to deal some damage, and he's getting something done. He's forcing a lot of lost mining time. Of course, there are very mobile detectors available in these 2 Oracles. So that's going to be nice. And indeed, both the mines are going to get taken out. At the same time, beautiful little move here. Gumiho will try to snipe a pylon. Single storm, 2nd storm. As this Nexus will stay alive. And an instant morph into the Archon. Yeah, this smells like a push out to me. And here comes that Robobay. Here comes the robotics facility. This is a classic Protoss versus Terran move. As you're pushing out, switching tech. Saying, hey, the power spike of this push is kind of coming to an end. I still want to utilize that, but I also need to have something ready behind this. It used to be expand while you attack. Nowadays, it's tech while you attack. As this is going to be a fairly dedicated assault here. As Gumiho somehow managed to sneak this army by. He's going to get a snipe on a pylon, plays this very carefully, and will move back home. Solid play here out of Gumiho, who's going to set up his 3rd base once again. And this actually delayed herO's push out so much that it feels like herO now, as a result, doesn't really have much of a push timing anymore. Ghost could be produced already. I know the Academy is done at least. Yep, there we go. So should start. I think herO's just going to sit back for a little bit longer. A very technical game so far, in which both players are making some solid decisions, good unit movement overall. Just kind of feeling how this series is going to develop from here. As these mines will not reach their destination, and destination being base number 4. Gumiho sending out 3 medevacs, a bunch of Marauders and Marines on an errand to clean up this watchtower. I'm surprised how late these Ghosts are being added in. Kind of shocked even by it. There's no 4th base yet either. As herO now is kind of scanning the far right side of the map. I'm not entirely sure if it's necessary to do this with your entire army? I feel like it isn't. Is this Prism with 2 Templar moving forward? Zealot Rumbai heads in towards the 3rd. Prism with 2 Storms in it is showing up as well. Here we go. Here come the Storms. And 11, 13 SCVs go down instantly. I actually believe that herO is in a phenomenal spot here. Gumiho attempts a base trade. Recall's not quite available, so this base trade might actually materialize. As robotic facility will get taken out. There are 2 Colossus out already. Triple turrets being thrown down. I feel like Gumiho is focusing too much here on the natural. Would love for him to run in towards the main to see if he can get something done over there. A base for a base. 23 workers to 23 workers. 1 Colossus gets taken out. 2nd Colossus actually under heavy fire as well. Here comes the pickup. No, it's too late. Stalkers blinking forward. Missed target though out of herO. But herO definitely getting the better end of that trade. 112 supplied to 173. 3 bases still mining versus, well, 1 base floating and 1 base mining. There are a lot of mules available, and that's going to give a boost here to the income. Sure, Gumiho's upgrades are significantly better, but I just don't really see a way for him to hold an incoming push. Loving that he split off these 3 medevacts. Really needs to enter ASAP, but Stalker's still in position to potentially deal with that. Good Storm. Oh, to damage these ghosts a significant amount. Another Storm hits, and his Liberator tank siege up is not going to be enough defensively. As the Stalkers warped in will be enough defensively on the other side of the map, I think. And thus herO is going to secure the first win here on map number 1, GSL versus Gumiho. Game number 2 will be played on Golden Aura. An interesting map. I'm really curious to see what else Gumiho has prepared. Gumiho is one of the players that I was very interested in watching, because he's one of those guys that makes his own builds, even when nothing changes in the meta, even when cost of units or the power of units don't necessarily change. But with the new patch, he was the guy that I was looking at. I was like, all right, maybe you can make something happen. Maybe there's some interesting builds. The game 1 build was indeed interesting. It didn't work out. That doesn't necessarily mean, of course, that it's a bad or a terrible build. It just means that it didn't work out. I'm not entirely sure what the goal was. I find it very difficult at the moment in Terran versus Protoss to judge build orders that Terrans are throwing out there. I don't quite know what is good. I don't know what is bad. So we can only really judge by the result, and it didn't work. So sucky build, I guess. But ooh, herO with a double scout doesn't really feel like a scout. This was a faster gateway, wasn't it? This feels like a very fast gateway. Finishes up at 116. We get the cybernetic score at 118. 6 seconds faster than the standard cybernetic score. And thus, it means this was a 13 pylon, 14 gate with a fake scout and a proxy stargate. Look at that. Gumiho, however, sending out his first SCV, saying, hey, I ain't falling for your tricks. There is a gold base on this map. If there's one thing that herO loves doing, it's proxying buildings and then going into a gold nexus. This is his favorite thing. This is absolutely one of his favorite things to do. We've seen him play proxy Void Ray as well. I watched him play it, I want to say, against Cure the other week. So it's also possible that it's going to be a proxy Void Ray here. I hadn't even considered that. I had not considered that at all. This Reaper is being sent out. High ground command center. Solid call here by Gumiho. Very nice call. Needs to follow this up with a fast factory as well. There we go. Fastest possible factory and a bunker on the high ground. Such a safe and solid response. Does he go for the reactor or one more marine? Okay, straight away reactor. All of these calls, I think, are very fair out of Gumiho, who's desperately looking around to find whatever building is being proxied. It technically could be a Twilight Council or a robotics facility. It's a little bit unlikely. Most of the time it is going to be a Stargate. I love that he scouted with his SCV. He went to this watchtower to check if the Nexus was going down over here. No, Nexus just going down in the natural for herO. Oh my god. Is this going to spot it? Just barely doesn't. Well-positioned Stargate. Nice location. This area, of course, has the same properties. Just very well hidden. And I think it's going to be one of the last spots that Gumiho is going to end up scouting here. Now wants to pop in towards the main base. I wonder if that is going to do the trick. Confirmation on the Nexus. Yes, it's there. Confirmation has been received that a Nexus is there. And that is a a big sigh of relief here. It means that this mine probably can move into... Wow. Can move into the mineral line. herO just uses a revelation and then pisses off. Transitions into a Twilight Council. Reaper still alive. Has spotted that quick Twilight Council as well. And this follow-up is a 3-gate Blink rush. Now, usually Oracle into Blink or Oracle into Twilight Council isn't very all-in, but due to the delayed Nexus, and I think even a probe cut here in order to afford everything. Look at this. Probe cuts for 3-4 seconds every single time just because he's so tight on cash. It's kind of crazy. It really is kind of crazy. We have that forward mine here. Do we have another mine in the main base? There's 2 mines total, so I bet you there is. Can't even see where it is. Where's that thing? Oh, it's over here. Okay. In the... between the triangle mineral patches. Vikings on the hunt. But is not going to get the Oracle. Look at this worker cut here. Look at this. No worker production. No worker production. Fort Gate as well, now being proxy to afford quicker reinforcements. Get them into the fight a little bit faster. Make this pylon a quick warp-in pylon. Still slow, of course, the moment this gateway transitions, or the moment the gateway turns into a gateway rather than just a building gateway. It will allow for those faster warp-ins. Look how slow this is right now. God, that takes a year, doesn't it? That takes a year. And the moment this gateway finishes up, we see the process speed up. It'll turn into a fast pylon. Oracle now moving in. Mines have disappeared from the mineral line. The Oracle gets 1, 2 kills. What are you doing? Oh my god, herO. Huge blunder here. Huge blunder because that's his only unit that allows high ground vision. Tank in the far back. Both of these adepts get taken out for free as herO fumbles twice in a row now. First is Oracle, then these 2 adepts. Really just a huge blunder here out of the Korean Protoss player who usually is known for his solid control. Ends up losing 3-4 Stalkers here. Takes out a tank, but he needs more than just a tanker, let me tell you that much. Viking on the low ground has landed and is going to help out with a bunch of damage output. Tank way too far forward here. That is a risky maneuver here. He's gonna get almost get a Stalker kill. Gets 2 shots in from a distance. Stalker count up to 9. That means 2 volleys will be required in order to snipe this tank. Not having the ability to jump in the main now is huge. If there was the ability to jump into the main, I almost feel like this would be good for a herO, but right now it ain't. Loses 4 more Stalkers, kills a tank. The fact that there's no bunker being built here is kind of crazy. Next tank pops out. 3 adepts being built. Ooh, Phoenix out as well, wanting to jump in towards that main base. That's indeed what we're going to be seeing. Stim, combat shield. Not quite halfway done. Combat might get sniped here, but damage output is just so freaking low. Adept shading in towards the natural. Tank will help out. Whoa, that's bad positioning here, herO. Should be in the SCVs in order to get the splash damage of the tank on there as well. Lots of workers are falling. Gold base is being taken behind all of this. There's no follow-up yet. There is no follow-up whatsoever for herO. There's no charge. Now we get the charge. Gateway count is low. And Gumiho, yes, he's lost his combat shield. That sucks. But his stim is still going. He's up, well, double the army supply at this point. There's just not that many tools that herO has at his disposal right now that he can use and say, hey, this is how I'm going to defend your incoming push. I'd almost like for Gumiho to just sit back and relax, not move out pre-combat shield, but I understand that he feels the urge to kind of move on the map here. I understand that he feels that urge. This SCV right now has spotted the gold base as well. That is a big deal. That probably is adding into that pressure that Gumiho is putting on himself here to move out. I still believe that waiting for combat might have been better. Because he can't really move out with this army. There's so many Stalkers. Love this little drop though towards the far left. That's a very nice move. That's a very nice move. So right now, herO needs to have army in 3 locations. 1 at the front, 1 on this base, and then 1 in the natural. Because units can pop out anywhere right now. Blinking towards the main is going to snipe combat again. That is a huge deal. That really is just a huge deal. These Marauders and Marines also in some trouble. I don't think there's recall available though. We saw it used just earlier. And that means that all of these Stalkers will get taken out. That is an expensive snipe. This tank is not in the correct position. These depots will kind of create a secondary wall. No high ground vision left. Stalkers will end up dying. And this drop on the left side also gets stopped. Just a weird situation all around right now. There are 8 gateways out, no upgrades for herO. He has the gold base, and he's up 4 workers. No combat shield yet. So I'd say, well, there's a +1 upgrade here, or 1-1 upgrades against 0-0. This looks very good for Gumiho, but then you look at his army, and it consists of just 13 marines and 3 tanks, and these marines are weak. They're very weak, they don't have combat shield. Look at them. They're falling at a rapid pace here. At a very rapid pace. More zealots being warped in. Supplies now getting closer and closer to even. I'd love to see a forge being added in. Okay, there we go. Forge is being added in. I think a fort base might even be a wise decision coming out of herO right now. I think it is almost a necessity to get a fort base. Because he really needs to seriously outmine his opponent. He wants to get another snipe in on that combat shield. Ain't quite getting it. I mean, if Gumiho... Oh my god, this thing is so low, by the way. Look at that. This tech lab has almost no HP left. But yeah, it's unlikely it's going to get sniped, as this Phoenix will get cleared. Or sorry, that Phoenix will not come out. Won't get cleared. herO looking at an attack here, because he wants to rebuild this pylon. Is building a fort base right now in an odd location. It is what it is. Stalker's moving in. Almost get a snipe on a Marauder. Combat shield finally finishes up. And I think this is the timing where Gumiho says, hey, now it's my time to shine. He's floating an absolute crap ton of minerals, by the way. Nice. That's a lot of money. 900 minerals, that is 18 marines, the equivalent. That's really a lot of money to be floating at this point. I don't quite understand how that is possible. I don't comprehend that. He's still floating it, and nice. This is poor macro. This is poor macro here coming out of our Terran player. We've had bad unit control from herO in this game and poor macro out of the Terran. I'd love for herO to just go up to like 68, 69, 70 workers. I think throwing down a 5th and going up to 10 gates here might be the call. It's transitioning into Templars. Storm is a necessity though. Archons won't cut it because there's a Ghost Academy on the way already. Robotics facility coming out. Prisms are going to be important. Phoenixes dealing some damage. We kind of need to understand why Gumiho is so hesitant here. And the reason for that is because he's blind. He's blind as a bat right now. He has no clue what's kicking off in this particular game. He knows that herO has had a gold for a little over 4 minutes right now. And moving on the map is so scary for Gumiho. We can see that he's in a playable position. And it's probably best for him to stay at home for a little longer. Gumiho isn't aware of that. He has a sensor tower that does give him some good info the moment these zealots move in. Look at this. Probably wants to move on top of this ramp right now. Stim back towards that ramp. That's a big freaking scan there. Awkward fight here. I think herO should split off part of his army to move towards the left to really set up that flank. Didn't do that. So all of these zealots just continue chasing. Still will do a good job in the fight though. Felt like he could have gotten a bit more out of there. Now have another zealot attack. Probably going to go in towards the natural. Try and deal with some of these tanks. Mines and tanks somewhat in position though. Here comes herO once more. Now coming in with that flank I was talking about earlier. That's definitely going to help out. Mine shots are big. Oh my god, this is another flank. Is there blink? There is blink. Can blink forward. Can he get the snipe? Doesn't get any of these medevacts down. That fight ended up going much better for Gumiho than I had expected it to go. I thought Gumiho honestly was kind of dead there. But he stays alive for now. Just for now. 5th base goes down, finally. Storm getting closer to finishing up as well. First Ghost Star, of course, out. There's +3 starts here for Gumiho. He's on 2-1. And this is really his one advantage, is the upgrades. It's 2-1 versus +1 armor. Both of these, I'm not quite sure what they were doing, but they will die. 4 Templar and a Prism. Looks scary for Gumiho, but he has a very large army. If these storms don't land, I don't really see how herO's going to engage this, because the quality of herO's army is just legitimately quite crap. Really quite bad. I almost feel like he should use this as just a pure run-by army at this point. Like, it's so many zealots, and they don't contribute very much in a fight against a high amount of bio that has mines, that has ghost and superior upgrades. herO believes he can attack, or maybe herO believes he must attack. Either way, he's moving out on the map. I do feel like he needs to do something, but attacking into this also feels like suicide. Fort base now being set up. I think it's Gumiho that can move out on the map, by the way. Doesn't feel like it, but I think it's the case. I really do believe this is the case. Look at that salad count. You're looking at that as a Terran and you're rubbing your hands together. This game looked bad for Gumiho at a certain point. Okay, some zealots being split off. Like, this is what needs to happen. This looks silly. And it perhaps is silly, but herO needs a better quality army. And he probably wants to just give away some zealots. Like, bit by bit, because he needs his supply to be worth something. If Gumiho can fight in the next 30 seconds, this is going to be a very one-sided fight. Here comes a... Oh my god, Disruptor. Bad rally there. Prism coming in from the side. Prism coming in from the side. Gets taken out. No more storms available. That could have been big, because this is still a lot of Marines in this army. If this was pure Marauder, I don't think losing the Templar is a huge deal. But now it was. Zealot run by comes in. herO's going to send it for a base trade almost here. It's going to break through in the natural, I think. Oh, reinforcements coming in quick. Stalkers moving forward. Mines spread out everywhere. Gumiho splits off a part of his army to send back home and a part of his army to continue killing bases. So far, it's Gumiho who's losing majority of the workers. 3-2 now finishing up. It's going to be 3-2 versus 1-1. That is a 3 upgrade deficit here for our Protoss player, who has fallen significantly behind here in army supply. 122 to 52. Nexus being attacked. It's going to be a third Nexus that will follow. These Stalkers will not be capable of putting a dent in a bit of butter. As Gumiho wins game number 2 here on Golden Ara. A little bit of a frustrating game number 2 if you're a Protoss fan. Yes, it feels like herO got way too close there. His early game was legitimately garbage. A terrible, terrible early game for him, and mainly due to his own doing. Losing those Adepts, losing that Oracle, I think made the situation much, much harder for him than it really should have been. You kind of end up in a situation there where it's like, well, you know, what's going to happen now? And then somehow, some way, with some slick moves, herO gets a bunch of kills, secures that third Nexus, and snipes Combat Shield twice, and he's back in that game. I even like the counter-attack in the end. It's just losing the Templar in that Prism is such a big deal, because it can really delay the Terran move. I'll just have some Templar. You know, Terran needs to be way more careful with the move forward. Need to send just Marauders or with a Ghost or maybe a Viking in there as well. If you hit a single storm, that can really change the outcome of the game. And you're so close to having your Colossus transition done as well. Like that really just changes things. There were still 38 Marines in that army. That was a vulnerable army to splash, alright? That was a vulnerable army to splash. Once again, a Stargate opener coming out of herO. Just like in the previous 2 games. Very keen on these Stargate openers. It's cool to see. Adept into Stalker. You don't usually see this with Phoenix. So my estimation is an Oracle. If it's not an Oracle, I'll feel like an idiot. That's okay. There we go. Oracle indeed. Beautiful stuff. A little bit of chrono there. I missed the opener out of Gumiho, but this looks like a barracks marine factory before reactor. High ground CC, no scout. Yeah. It seems accurate. You can see the difference between a reactor before factory or a factory before reactor by counting the Marines. So if there's 5 Marines out at, what is it, 318, that means it's factory before reactor. And if it's 5 Marines out at the 3-minute mark, then you know it's reactor before factory. And it requires different responses from the Protoss side. Ooh, following it up with triple gate here. That's interesting. Always feel like triple gate as a follow-up is fairly poor unless you're planning on dealing damage. And this is something that herO likes to focus on. So a lot of players, when they play Stargate openers, they try to negate damage. Their goal is to maybe kill 1 or 2 workers with their Phoenixes and Oracles, get a fast third base out, and really hit that eco hard. But if you're playing 3-gate, you need something. You just need to build a lot of units pre-Nexus and then get some damage in. You hope your opponent doesn't have a bunker. If they have a bunker, you're in trouble. Gumiho, of course, a player that loves skipping bunkers. And thus, he also has skipped the bunker this time around. 8 Marines popping out here. As this drop will clear a pylon, but the question is at what cost? So far at the cost of 2 Marines. Phoenixes didn't really commit to the medevac there. Probably gone a bit harder, but still will get the W. Big move here, honestly, out of herO. Once again, needs to do something still. So this would have been a great start if there were a third base for herO, but there is no third base. So he's just building a lot of freaking units. I'm surprised to not see a bunker. Like, if you're seeing a complete lack of a third as Gumiho here, like, in my mind, you should be capable of figuring out that this is a 3-gate, or at least a multi-gate, with serious pressure added on. Like, what is the plan here? Okay, we have a shade in. That looks aggressive. That looks like it might have some potential. There's a Cyclone in the back, dishing out a lot of damage, though. That is huge. Oracle gonna get taken out as well. Medevac showing up. This isn't it for herO. This is not it for herO. Worker count looks good. And this situation feels good as a Protoss. If you are not aware of the fact that Stim and Combat is just going to be quicker than your Forge and your Twilight will be. That is an issue. That is a serious issue. Although Stim hasn't... Wait, is Stim done? Stim is done. Wait, when did he research that crap? I didn't even see that. And now he's moving out with a medevac, a Cyclone, 4 Marines. This is gone completely unspotted. There is a dead space here in the main base as well. And that's exactly where I just saw Gumiho click. I saw a blue little dot happening over here. Okay, yeah, there we go. Look at that, he's setting up. There is a battery in the main that is going to be extremely helpful. I can't say enough how huge that is. Without that battery, this is -6, -7 workers instantly. Like, that's no joke. You know, we're not memeing here, guys. Good individual Marine control, pulls one back. Kills a battery, kills a Stalker, drops down into the third. Now it's going to try and deal more damage as the rest of the army also decides to show up. Look at that. Where's your charge? Where are your units? They ain't here. As Gumiho just kind of runs across the map. Is he going to get a kill? Possibly he's going to get a kill. Combat shield finishing up in 5-7 seconds. In 11 seconds. And this Nexus will fall. Now, key here for Gumiho is how he kind of manages the evacuation of his units. Pushing in forward here would be a blunder. And this is a blunder that a lot of Terrans make in this particular position. It is scary though to move back all at once because you don't want to unseat your tanks. Here comes the charge lot. This is a nice trade out, honestly, for Gumiho. Yes, it's not a brilliant trade, but he clears all of these. Now has the ability to evacuate. herO kind of handed that evacuation to Gumiho. He said, hey, you want to get out of here? Sure, we can have a little fight. If herO waits for one more warp in there, life becomes so much harder for Gumiho. So much harder. As Phoenixes and Stalkers moving across the map, we'll get a lift off over here. This is extremely all-in out of herO, who is building a third base. Doesn't have the greatest worker count either. Phoenix does go down. Prism arrives. There are only 5 gateways, so pretty poor infrastructure as well. If it's 5 barracks versus 5 gate, that is good for the Terran player. This is a scary fight. Gumiho, only a single medevac remaining. Right now, 0 medevacs remaining. Both of these tanks will get taken out, but all zealots will fall as well as 4 SCVs get taken out. This is a late third. As, well, it's being rebuilt. This technically should have been the 4th base. Phoenix has tried to lift some units here. They need to deal some damage. And you're looking at this situation supply-wise and worker-wise. It all looks fine for herO. Even supply against the Terran usually is okay. Especially if you're playing Phoenix Charge. It's kind of fine. And you have... ideally would have a 4th gas. Maybe... Yeah. The problem, however, is that you don't have 8 gates. If there's 8 gates here already, I rate this position quite okay for herO. But without the 8 gates, that's 450 minerals that you still need to invest. And more than just the 450 minerals, it's time you need to invest. And the question is, will Gumiho give you this time? I don't know if the answer to that question is yes. I don't know if the answer to that is yes. Mine count is growing. It's at 2 right now. Beautiful little round by. Although this is also a significant amount of gateway time that is being utilized here. So this is not making the defensive army bigger. And yes, it might have an impact on the eco of Gumiho, but it doesn't have an impact on this army. And this army is a problem right now as it's knocking on herO's door. Pops in over here. Mine, please don't shoot on probes. It's gonna shoot on probes. A little bit sloppy there. Good surround coming out of herO. Gumiho will probably end up getting cleaned up here. At a very large probe cost. 23 workers go down. Phoenix count magnificent though. Absolutely insane how high that Phoenix count is. Is that capable of still doing something here? I don't think so. There are 16 Marines out. Gumiho can just relax. He's up 11 workers. He just needs to be hugging turrets right now. Maybe even build a turret here in no man's land. And he has plenty of Marines. His production is too good. That is just the problem. There are 2 reactors pumping 4 Marines at a time. All the barracks were pumping Marines for a little bit there. And Marines, of course, get constructed so fast that yes, a large Phoenix force is great. But I'm not actually sure if something's going to be done. Nice. Look at that. The turret in no man's land. Good play. Solid play. Gumiho says, hey, you're investing a lot in Phoenixes. Then I can invest a little bit more in the defense of Phoenixes. And look at this zoning move here. Pretending to move out while in reality just sending out this medevac drop. Really nice play. It's going to get spotted, but the idea was solid. It was good. I really did enjoy that. Phoenix count now up to 11. Another thing is... Ooh, wait. There's a turret here, but it's kind of out of position. That is sloppy, because that's... Oh, 2 mines. 1, 2. 2 Phoenixes do go down. Still an okay trade. Can herO hold, though, is the question. It's a lot of Marines, and Marines have a lot of damage output. Sentry force fields need to be good. Battery not quite in position. Almost would love for these Phoenixes to stay on the other side of the map. Really just force Gumiho's hand, because you're not going to win the moment Ghosts come out. So much of your supply is in Phoenixes, and Phoenixes are actually useless against Ghosts, because Ghosts remove not only the shields but also the energy. And then all you have is just a very expensive unit that kills medevacs. Yeah, he should have stayed. He should have stayed with these Phoenixes. This was a mistake. The first little blunder here in this game. It's a hard call to make. To stay with the Phoenixes, but that's what he should have done. Now the supply is really just kind of rolling out of control. There's random mine traps here in the main base, 2 of them. Do not get the connections. We have a robotics facility, the second one being built. The first one is popping out disruptors. Good call, because there are a lot of mines in order to make your zealots a bit more worthwhile. Oh, herO. What a blunder here, losing 8, 9, 10 zealots basically for free. And this is going to be the trigger for Gumiho to move across, isn't it? Phoenix is still looking to deal damage. In the fight, they will be useless. herO knows that. He wants to get something done before. Good set of force fields here. Super battery gets activated. Ooh, poor control out of Gumiho. No splits whatsoever. First Colossus halfway done. Will not be in time. And even if it comes out right now, it's on the wrong side of the road. And how does the Colossus cross the road? Well, no one really knows. Good retarget there on the mine. Tried hitting those Phoenixes. Didn't quite get it. Because the Phoenixes flew out of range. Colossus is gonna get sniped and cancelled. And herO in a world of trouble right now. Loses this base. Even if Gumiho loses this army, he's gonna get an insane trade over here. All these probes going down. Split is okay. Not brilliant. As Gumiho gets the finisher, I think, on this game. No, a couple more pickups. Reinforcements arriving right now on this third base as the natural has been taken out. And there's no fort behind this for Gumiho either. And honestly, this fight went better than I thought it would for herO. But I don't think it really matters because he doesn't have a natural anymore. Mine's still connecting as well. There are no observers. No, there is an observer out on the map. It's being sent back home. Beautiful scan. Just a beautiful scan out of Gumiho. I'd be disappointed if he continues moving out after that scan. I'm actually kind of disappointed here. I'd say, hey, get your army together, get another round of Ghost, then take, then have a go at it again. But Gumiho's just straight up gonna go, and I mean, it's most likely just going to be fine anyway. Has his +3 on the way, has just a slightly bigger army. I really feel like the superior play here would be to just wait, sit back until you got your Ghost out. This feels like it carries more risk. Like herO right now is on freaking 2 bases. He doesn't have this one yet. It's not going to matter though. I don't think it's going to matter quite. Phoenix is in the air. Well, got a couple of lips off. Medevacs falling low. Colossus targeting on those clumps of Marines. You saw that? Some nice right clicks there by herO. Beautiful play. But sometimes one beautiful play can't make up for the blunders that you've made earlier. Losing those 10 zealots in the middle of the map was really a significant blunder, especially given how close that last fight ends up being. One wonders what happens if those 10 zealots are either just attacking the third base in the, the CC, taking out the reinforcements, or if they're just in the fight as a flank. Lots of questions there. Phoenixes try to drag the mines, doesn't quite work out. 2 Colossus not good enough to deal with all of these Marauders. There's a snipe on these Colossus. Will reduce the number to 1. Too late of a pickup. Gumiho once again floating a decent chunk of cash, but I don't think it will matter. As the main has landed at the 4th base location, mules are mining at a high pace. 3.4k minerals a minute for Gumiho, and herO is broke. He's dead, he's gone, out of this game. GG gets called. Gumiho wins the game, wins the series, coming back from a 1-0 deficit. And beautiful performance here, out of Gumiho, honest to God. Freaking love the way he played that. Nice build orders. I'm still surprised how quick that stim was in this particular game. And his movement, he's just so good at these things. And I'm honestly not super impressed by the mechanical aspect that Gumiho showed here, like floating quite a bit of money throughout the series. But the movement, like the little drop in the main and then just having those units kind of float across the map without any serious support, it all feels very risky. But whenever Gumiho does it, it tends to work out. And that's the beauty of these high-level players with their own little styles, that it's hard to prepare for. Gumiho showed that is very valuable in and by itself. That's going to be it for me today. I hope you did enjoy it. If you did, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see all of you next time for a new video. Bye-bye.